Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Monday, February 2nd, 2026, and it is our first day together for Black History Month. Black History Month kicked off yesterday, February 1st. And I will say now more than ever. And if you've paid attention over the past couple of years, a lot of us are not. I just realized that my beard and my sweater match. I'm not too happy about that. Um, we are in very interesting times when it comes to daily celebrating our culture. We live it daily. While it is currently trying to be erased, it is under attack. Every element and everything of Black culture is just very interesting right now. So, anyway, I started off in the stuff and didn't say welcome to the Java Cafe this morning. Do me a favor and invite others in and to be a part of the Java family this morning. We have a surprise for you this morning. I'm also going to share, those of you that follow me saw the end of last week, sort of a testimony post. And I'm going to explain a little bit of that today about what happened and how I got out just in time. And I would also ask you all to please keep the victims of that fire in your prayers. There are 5 people that were displaced. It could have been 6, but I realized that God don't play about me. And that's what we're going to drop shortly when we get some more folks in the room. But let's go into the Java Cafe and see who was in this morning. And do me a favor, don't just see this and smile. Hit that like button and then hit the share button and invite others into the Java Cafe. Let's go in and see who's in so far this morning. Sister Debbie, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Mother Java, Mama Java, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room as well. Also in the room this morning on the Facebook side is Dina Marshall as well. My good brother Milton, what's up, man? Good to see you in the room this morning. Good to see you in the room. Over on Instagram, we have Hugans. Good to see you, brother. Hope Mass. Also, I am Izzy and Block 2022 and Penny Cosby, old friend from City Hall. Well, she used to volunteer back in the day at the Gospel Fest and things at City Hall. So again, invite some others into the Java Cafe to be a part of our discussion today and to hear the testimony definitely from me and also the pastor, the good pastor, Sharon Cornelius. Sharon Cornelius is in the room this morning. Mother Lisa is in from the DMV, and we are still, oh, Jesus. Dina Marshall Tarver. Is it Dina Tarver? Is it? Well, if you change it on thing, I'm going by what I read. Dina Marshall Tarver is in the building. Thank all of you that participated in the Day of Kindness a couple of weeks ago to honor who I call my political mother. That's how Dina's my sister, Marie Marshall as well. Shout out to Nikki, who's over on Instagram. The good Bishop Shelton Wilson is in the room. Nisi, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Pastor Sharon, that's what I need to see, that coffee cup that lets me know that you are here. And also, Opal, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Good to see you. Listen, I'm going to wait a couple of seconds to start sharing the testimony. Asia, good morning. Good to see you in the room. So I don't have to repeat it. And you can go back. And just for those of you that do not know, if you happen to be here this morning and it works out, you're here this morning and you think that you can only watch live, you can go back and watch episodes of Java with Jimmy across all platforms on YouTube, on YouTube, Facebook on James W. Hills, and also Java with Jimmy, and Twitter and LinkedIn. They stay up there as well. So please remember to go and do that. But I'm going to start sharing some of the testimony and story about why I'm so grateful about my new place and getting out of that place just in time. Dina Marshall Tarver said, yes, my full name is there, but you didn't say because of her. Yeah. Okay. I know. I got to do better. Tay, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning as well. Janine, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning as well. I see you hopped on over on Facebook. Feel free to stay on LinkedIn as well. Good to see you in the room this morning. All right. For those of you that hit the share button, thank you. It is much appreciated. Please make sure if you don't follow, follow Java with Jimmy and James W. Hills everywhere. Most of the platforms, it's definitely Java with Jimmy, in addition to Facebook and LinkedIn, which is James W. Hills. So, excuse me for 1 second. I don't remember what day it was. Maybe it was Thursday, Friday. I was notified that, hey, are you still here? Are you okay? And with that, I got a screenshot of 21 Juniper Street in Roxbury off of Cedar. That was a 2-alarm fire. I did find out Nia stays in that area, and I did find out that, like, from Washington Street between Circuit and like Cedar, all the way up Cedar to the school, emergency vehicles, ambulances, MBTA bus to keep the folks warm, all type of emergency type of vehicles and lights, cameras in action. And I'll be honest, I knew it was the building. And with that screenshot, there was some reference to the way the old apartment was, the original apartment design was set up. This is kind of a part of the testimony. So some of you that have been following me for a few years knew that my last landlord, up until about 2023, interesting experience with them. I was threatened by the property owner's dad. Some of the property owner stuff was interesting. He almost got turned off, and it was just interesting. And so I had to move. And as an entrepreneur, I have to give a shout out to Thumbprint Realty, Brother Hugans and Brother Alex. As an entrepreneur, I don't have check stubs. And also, sometimes I'm a year or two behind with filing taxes. So at that time, I didn't have my what do you call it, 1040s. So it was interesting for me to be able to present that, hey, I'm able to pay rent. And that I couldn't get a reference letter from that landlord from moving in 23 to where I moved to in 23, because it just fell out. It was just a bad ending. I did, thanks to my lawyer, Jordana Agreement, that, yeah, I walked away with enough first and last month's rent, security, moving expenses, few things, in the new apartment. So that was in October of 23. And you all know that I'm analytical. I'm curious. I'm a research type guy. I got into the place, was thankful to be there. It was a very nice place. It was essentially newly renovated. And to speed things up, in summer of 24 or 25, in summer of 25, I believe, I asked the property owner, I said, hey, I wanted to reach out to the city of Boston to see if I could get garden beds. And I'm going somewhere with this. And this is leading up to the track and record that I created and we're going to drop shortly. And so I got the garden beds in like April. And due to, again, being an entrepreneur, rent was the priority. I had my Amazon cart packed with everything that you needed to garden, things to keep the animals out. I was buying, fake owls, scarecrows. Like, I was really going to garden. And finances just didn't work out for me to be able to do that. So that was in April. In June, I get a phone call from the property owner. And what she said was, hey, essentially, I'm going to need to raise the rent during the summer because the water bill is going up from your garden, you watering the garden. Now, you heard me just say that I wasn't able to do the garden the way I wanted. I never planted a seed. And so she asserted that the reason supposedly that the water bill went up was because of me. I never bought a hose to get water over to the beds. So unfortunately, that for some reason, some things that I was already thinking that was up with the apartment, um, it put me on a thing like, really? You trying to play me? And if you know me, you don't want to be on that side when I start going to ISD, the deed reporting a website that shows the deeds and mortgages and all of that stuff. Don't make me go there. Well, I did. The other thing to go back a little bit was when I viewed the apartment, utilities were included. It was definitely good. Utilities were included. But even in, except for the projects, even when utilities were included, there was always a thermostat that I was able to control. There was an agreement. The real estate people were there, and she was supposed to transfer the thermostat from the other apartment on the first floor over to my unit. Now, hear what I said: from the other apartment over to the first floor, or on the first floor into my unit. That was supposed to happen when I moved in October of 23. They moved the thermostat in during the winter of 23 and going into 24. The property, the maintenance guy, the guy that she uses to the guy that she uses said that they couldn't do it during the winter. I kept getting these excuses as to why the thermostat was never moved. Sometimes it would be too hot, sometimes it would be cold in there. And that was interesting. And so that was made me think like, wait. Then she switched the address. When I first went and saw the apartment, and we was talking about the lease and whatnot, she said, well, your address is 21 Juniper Street 2R. Now, first of all, let me back up. As much as I had to hustle, because when my lawyer called me, I think I had 2 weeks in October, late September and October of 23 to move. And, I had money saved up, holding on the rent and whatnot. So I was able to do that. And so I went to see the apartment, and I pull up in front, this red brick building, nice shellacked brick door in the front. And my real estate agent was up the driveway on the side. And I'm like, this side entrance, I will say this. This property owner and a few people that I've talked to have mentioned this. Some property owners will take a large apartment and try to split it. If it was 2 bedrooms, they'll split it into 1 bedroom and try to increase their wealth. It happens. However, Inspectional Services of the City of Boston has a process in which you have to get that apartment to be permitted, and you have to get it permitted to be split, and you need to register the apartment with the rental registry. Oh, I ain't got to the good part yet. You have to cut it up, as to what Nisi said in here. You have to register that. In my research, in the thing with the heat, I was like, something's not right here. But that's not even it. This is what really, the garden thing was one thing, and I had this thing I'm about to mention to you in the back of my mind, but wasn't really pressing it too much until I started seeing these other things, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's interesting. So when I had to move in, I had to give first, last, and security and a broker's fee. And moving was about 10 G's. Unplanned. Now, in the state of Massachusetts, when you give a property owner a deposit, a security deposit by law, they are supposed to deposit that security deposit in a separate account where it gains interest, escrow, whatever you want to call it. And when it came time in 24 to renew the lease, which she raised the rent while my closet door was getting ready to fall apart, while there was a leak here and there in the ceiling, while I wasn't controlling the heat because the thermostat still hadn't been moved a year later. And then in the second iteration of the lease, she wanted to charge me to park. Now, off-street parking is wonderful. But during the winter, I think she had it plowed twice one winter, and it was enough snow that, I shouldn't have to shovel outside of my car. I shouldn't have to shovel the driveway anyway. So during that time of the lease renewal, I said, hey, I never got my letter where the deposit is and what the amount of, this small interest. But I knew that. And because of all these other, kind of the third, at that point, it was the thermostat. I hadn't asked, I don't believe about the garden yet. And so that started to like get my eyebrow to go up. Like, why haven't I got the letter about where essentially it is my money? Even if you have to use some of the security deposit, whatever you don't use, I'm supposed to get back from that bank account. Well, y'all, she never opened the bank account. She never gave me proof. And here's the thing that is interesting and gets me speeding this story up a little bit. For months. Oh, one other thing. One of the 5 that was this place, we had a different outlook on quiet, what is it called? Quiet enjoyment. There's some term that, you have a right to quiet enjoyment in your space. We had a different outlook on that. And one evening they were upstairs and I heard this thud about 2:30 in the morning. I get up because I started hearing this weird noise. It wasn't raining. I get up and go in the kitchen. There's a leak, another leak in the ceiling. I haven't even told y'all about the leaks that used to come through the windows when it rained real hard. I haven't even told y'all about that. But this time the leak was in the ceiling. And to make a long story short, it's an old house built, I want to say in 1860 something. I forgot from doing the research. And the drain was old school cast iron, not even copper, and not today's PCV. Cast iron from the 1800s, almost 200 years. The pipe had started to disintegrate. They opened the ceiling the first time. This was about a 3-week process to try to patch it. That didn't work. Then they did finally stop working on it. And when they worked on it, now, if you know anything about cast iron, if it disintegrates, the soot that sometimes if your furnace needs to be cleaned or whatever, that gets over everything in your apartment. I left when they was coming to fix it finally, the big part of it. And when I came home, a 200-year-old disintegrated pipe had fell. That I want to say was in October. No, I'm lying. Maybe July and August they got it fixed. And up until I moved in December, and literally before they did that, I had cleaned up after the first fix. Dusted, pulled stuff off the bookshelf, dusted, got everything together. The day that they fixed it the second time and fixed it right, when the pipe fell, a 200-year-old cast iron pipe, there was dirt and soot type dust everywhere. And I still believe that I probably inhaled some of that. So that, was a big issue. The security thing, I paid the parking, all that other stuff. But the closet door that they put in, I should have took pictures. Well, I did take pictures. I should have had them ready for y'all with a show and tell Monday. They had the opening sliding door at first, and for some reason, well, here's the other thing. I had to tell her that her property was settling again or sinking. Now, I was at the bottom of Fort Hill. The way I knew something was up with her apartment sinking or her building sinking was because, what do you call it? The threshold in the bathroom began to separate from the floor about like a little bit. I told the maintenance guy, they came and fixed it one day. And when they pushed it to where the floor was, it was like this. So basically, it was pulling away where the threshold was and where the floor was. The floor was pulling away from the threshold. The threshold is held up by the little, the little dents, in the doorway at the bottom when it's like this and goes out in the. So a result of that was where they had the thing to hold the closet on the floor, it was dropping. And so the door was falling off the hinge. Came one day, she looked at it and she said, well, we'll get you French doors. Fine by me. Rather than, slide and, open them up and it looked nice. It was a nice closet. But listen, the apartment was nice. Like when I talked to some people after doing research, I talked to some higher ups at ISD. I talked to a couple of lawyers. I talked to a couple of property managers. And they asked, like, what do you mean that, so what I didn't say to you all was the molding. Thank you, Miss Teresa. Good morning. The molding held the threshold back. So another piece that I forgot, I'm not going to start looking at the comments because I'm getting distracted and I'm trying to keep this in a chronological order. So the door started to mess up. She was going to give me French doors. I came home one day because when they come and work in the house, I don't want to be there. I don't like people, if I don't know you, I'm not comfortable in my space. If you're in my house doing something, I go outside. She told me they was going to fix it. I came home and what they did was, and I gave you an impression that I opened the doors this way. Excuse me. There was two knobs, but you pulled one and it pulled kind of a 2-panel door, to the left. Excuse me. They took, what do you call them? Flexible L brackets, put one on the door and one in the wall. And when they first did it, they didn't place them right. So now in my closet, I got unpainted holes in the wall. They didn't clean up. Anyway, so that's a few things that it went on. The final straw was I talked to her in October because I knew that we were getting ready to I thought that we were getting ready to renew the lease. We talked in early October. I named the closet, the thermostat. Oh. The thermostat got moved. But the piece that they needed for me to control the heat on my side never worked. So I had a thermostat in the apartment that never worked. I forgot one major part of this. With her not permitting the split that she did, I was entitled to the entire first floor. That's one part I forgot to say in this whole thing. And so I was aware of that. I knew she may potentially be trying to raise the rent again. Y'all know what's going on with property taxes and whatnot. That's fair. But I was trying to get ahead of it to be like the closet ain't fixed. You all did this. Oh, the other thing was when the soot and all that came to the apartment, she hired her friend to come that does house cleaning to come and clean the house for me. as I said, when I moved in December, I was still taking stuff off of stuff that I was packing. It still had that soot and dirt and stuff. And so that's just the extra piece. Let me stay focused. So early October, we talked. I'm raising the issues. I did mention what happened. You know, I still got soot here and all this other. I went down the list to try to build my case that don't try to raise the rent. And so she talked about them coming the second or third week in November to do the fixing. And she said that she would get me the proof of the deposit of my security deposit by, I think we talked on like Thursday, Friday, and she said over the weekend. I said, no, you told me some months ago to don't text you, don't bother you outside of Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. about any issues with the apartment. So I said, you know what? Wait till Monday. Get me the proof on Monday. Monday came, nothing. Tuesday came, nothing. Thursday came, nothing. Wednesday came, nothing. Thursday came, nothing. I hit her on like Thursday and Friday, or maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and said, hey, I didn't get an email, da 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 da. She said it was coming. On October 30th or 31st, I'm out. I come home and I see a constable letter on my door. Now, because of in the past, I've been through eviction. I think I got evicted once years ago in my 20s, 30s, late 20s, 30s, from Crescent Street. So maybe that was late 20s, 30s, because I was still working at Rock's Comp. But you know, constable letter, I knew it was something serious. And you know how you see something and 10,000 thoughts go through your head when you see it, what it could be. So I opened this letter and it was a notice to quit, and that I had 30 days to exit the property. Oh, really? Okay. Now, y'all know I advocate for other people. Some people call me an activist. I used to be a youth advocate. I used to march and protest and all that other stuff. What you never want to do is put me in a space where I got to do that for myself. Now my lawyer wasn't happy about this. This was on a Saturday. This was on a Saturday because I remember it was a Saturday on the weekend. Um, I left a message for the lawyer's office where the constable delivered on behalf of her lawyer. Now, here's the thing that was so interesting. This property was supposedly owned by a senior, and the senior got sick, and the daughter had to take over. Um, the daughter had to take over, you know, running the property. And so, you know, there was the lease. I think I forgot what the name of the entity was. He had some, you know, people create these holding companies and stuff like that. The reason the letter was interesting to me was because let me tell y'all about the research. Shut up. Who is this? Curtis, leave me alone. I'm trying to do it chronologically, and there was just so much that happened. And for those of you that are tuning in, the song is coming, the song is coming, the song is coming. God Don't Play About Me is coming. It's 10:34. Jesus, I gotta hurry up. So where was I? Where was I? I'm not looking at the comments. Oh crap. Oh, she put me in my research. In my research, if you've been cited, all of your sightings are public information on the ISD website. That property was cited for a lot, and it is really, and I think you all, if you know me, you get this fine line for me. Let me say this. I let it go, and I just felt something. I let it go. I talked to my lawyer, who is a white woman whose father used to work with the Black Panther Party. And people that are close to me, in the research, I found out my security deposit that was never deposited, she owed me that plus interest times 3. A non-permitted apartment, non-registered apartment, you would do your rent back. This has to go to court. You do your rent back and up to 6 times that. And I don't remember, said pain and suffering or damages. There's some consideration there because, in fairness, the apartment, when my mother was there, a couple of people have been over. There was a nice apartment, kind of small, 1-bedroom, but nice apartment. I went from a 2-bedroom to a 1-bedroom. I let it go. I ain't thought about it too much or whatever. And so I say that because a fine line for me is, and I'm going somewhere with the ISD with this, a fine line for me is when I talk about the ISD reports, there was at least, I'll say 2, there may have been 3, where that property owner was cited for issues in the roof, with the roof. And if you saw what happened, the fire started where? In the roof and spread quickly to the eaves. There's some details that I'm aware of. Very fine, very minute details that I'm aware of what happened, what time, who was there, all of that. And so, I was aware of this stuff. And so getting ready to end this out and talk about the blessing, I was aware of all of this, and I come home on that Saturday and get a notice to quit. I was so distraught, and pissed. So my happy tail calls the lawyer on a Saturday and leaves a message. I just need to let y'all know what y'all client is doing, and they've done some illegal stuff. And so, yeah, that's it. If y'all want to call back 85, I was so just dumbfounded. So I talked to my lawyer that handled the last incident with the bad landlord. And in those dealings, and this is the part that I need you all to know. If anything ever appears that I'm like, a little aha or whatever, I talked to her, and I said this before, just to her credit of her character. This white woman said to me, she said, Jimmy, if you pursue a case with her, you could potentially be ruining generational wealth. I don't know if she had kids. I don't know who her mother and all this paperwork and stuff. Excuse me. When my attorney said that, as much as I talk about equity, as much as I'm talking about P3, as much as I promote Black-owned businesses and small businesses, and y'all, because along with the research, I had a calculator. In total, at most, I could have walked away. Now, at most was $350,000. That's just because of the apartment. That's not the money due me. The security deposit case and the apartment, illegal apartment, are 2 separate cases. And so at most, it would have been $350,000. I said to myself, well, because it was a habitable apartment, and I lived there, going to court, a judge may say, well, I'm not going to give you the full 6 times, So I just knocked off in my head $100,000. I'm like, okay, he's going to give me $250,000 plus the security. In the research and in the going to the state secretary's website and looking at the deeds, I saw that there was some interesting dealings financially with that property. And so I made a decision. I said, okay, we're not going to sue for both. What my lawyer did was contact her lawyer and said, listen, and here's the other thing. I was contemplating, and here's the testimony. I was contemplating fighting this and staying there, put rent in escrow because I had a winnable case, without a doubt. Everybody that I talked to, lawyers, higher ups at ISD, everybody, I had a case. And I said, well, I know she probably doesn't have the money. She still got to get the closet fixed. Would I stay here rent free, for a year or something, stack my money and improve credit? Because as an entrepreneur, fourth quarter of 24, I had to live on credit cards. My credit score is not happy with me right now. Well, I'm not happy with it. So here's the testimony. Even with all that I went through, talking to my lawyer, talking to Uncle Thaddeus, I don't know if I talked to Ma or not, but for some reason I remember either telling her that I wasn't something, because my mother's always, what is she? My mother says, either be nice or be humble and say your prayers. That's what my mother says. So people that really know me, they were aware of the struggle. And I said, okay, I'm not going to mess with this woman's generational wealth. But what my lawyer said was, when can you move? Here's another testimony. Around the end of November, because I was supposed to be out November 30th. I had to pack. I made sure that I still had my Thanksgiving, had my mother and my sister over with boxes. So the week after Thanksgiving, my boy, if you followed me for some years, my boy that owns Rare Moving Company hit me up because he does CMOS, garden Paris, CMOS and whatnot like that. He has his hands in that along with brother Adilson and them. He hit me up and he said, yo, Jimmy, I got this salve that, we've taken African culture, indigenous people's culture, some Latino culture. We've looked at the herbs and, you all, thyme and rosemary, and you've seen maybe, TikTok and Instagram things about how these herbs and mixing them and boiling them and soaking them and putting them on, will heal you. They did their research, and he has this little bottle with the research in it and this thing of sea moss. And he was like, yo, I want to bring some by. I want you to try it. And if you agree, let's talk some advertisement. And what happened was I was on the show one day longer than I should have been, and I missed him. And I called him and I said, yo, I'm so sorry, man. He said, no, don't worry about it. I left it behind the little thing out front. You can go get it. Shoulder, don't go up. He said, well, I can come back through and talk with you after I go show my apartment. I said, come on. You got an apartment? He was like, yeah. I don't remember if it was that day or the next day. And I gave him a synopsis of what I was dealing with, needed to move quickly. He said, well, come and take a look at it. And, if you like it, it's yours. Alexa, cancel. I know y'all that watch me often enjoyed that in the middle of this thing. The appointment was for 2:00 for me to come and see the apartment, either that day or the next day. By 2:30, verbally, the apartment was mine. Um, and a lot of people sometimes say, James, you run your mouth too, you're too divulging, you're too transparent. I proactively said to him, listen, and he knows I've known this. The first time he moved me, I want to say was in 2011. It is 2011 because I went back and searched his name in email, and the first email I have is 2011. Um, he knows that I'm a good dude, but it's business. So I'm like, yo, I don't have and I kept it real with him. I ain't filed my taxes in a couple of years. My income, I could get $60,000 one point of the year and go all the way until November and get $1,000. And so, essentially he was like, yo, I know where you live. By 2:30, the apartment was mine. Outside of when he cleared this place out, he wanted to give me the key. Well, actually, he backed up off the keys a little bit because he wanted to touch up paint. He had a real now this cleaner over here. I just happened to come to get the keys. This woman had the windows pulled out. She was wiping the windows. She had her son here training him, and they really cleaned up the floors shining. I went from a 1-bedroom, half apartment to a 2-bedroom with a eat-in kitchen, a living room, and a dining room. And when I tell y'all this is set up in a manner that I could probably have 10 people here and do a podcast, this dude gave me leather chairs. This dude gave me an 8-person conference room table that I could set up to podcast and get my little Joe Budden Noriega on. This dude left here for me a chef's steel, what do you call it? Metal, them metal tables that are in the professional kitchens. I got one of them in my kitchen. This dude left me a setup in the closet where it's a walk-in closet. That's a testimony in itself. And I never told y'all about that in detail. My mother knew, Miss Teresa knew, few folks, they knew. The other part of the testimony that hit me on Thursday, and me and Newt talked about this morning, was I, in my own time, I made the decision to move. Sadly, those 5 people that were displaced did not. My understanding is that they have to be out of the hotel today. That happened on Thursday. Do you all not know if I stayed there? And people got on me about, James, you talk about you would have lost everything. We're glad you're here. Your life is important. Listen, no guarantee. And Newt said it this morning that someone said to him that, I could have died. And given what I know about what happened, it started on the 2nd floor. Like, at worst, I would have had to jump out the window because the other thing was there was only any permitting for an apartment since the city said that you have to have 2 forms of egress. They grandfather some spaces and whatnot. But if you're classifying a new apartment, you got to have 2 forms of egress. There was only one there. Another point. Anyway, addendum, Curtis. I believe I would have got out. Here's the thing that just, I've lost a lot of stuff over the years. When I moved to New York, I gave up stuff, came back. Yeah. So I was really kind of just, you all know, this was my 2nd apartment after coming back to Boston. The first apartment was cool. COVID happened, unemployment, become an entrepreneur. I was kind of, it was in a new apartment. I was kind of getting on my feet. I had a car now, like, and the yard was the property is a nice property. Like I mean, it has one of the only still original barns in Roxbury. There's a garage there. Like, it's a beautiful property. I had the ability in the morning to step out, and there's trees and squirrels, and just there's a park across the street. Like, so I was kind of good. I didn't like some of the logistics of it, but I was okay. I would have lost everything. I would have had the clothes on my back. Um, I know where my papers and stuff are, but given what was going on, I may not have been able to grab them. Everything that we've built over the past 5 years, 6 years, and a couple of months, equipment, speakers, mics, stands, Miss Teresa's stuff, mugs, very materialistic, all could be replaced. And what Newt said to me this morning was, do you not understand the trauma that you would have experienced? I would have been displaced and homeless. Now I know, presumably, folks would have, looked out and offered me, a couch a couple of nights and stuff. Um, I'm aware of some sizes of a brother that's there, and in the background trying to make sure, he gets some stuff. Um, it's when Newt said that today, I was like, I never really, I thought more about like the safety and the fact that God got me out of there via a decision. Though that decision feels a little bit forced, he got me out of there before that happened. Now, if y'all really know me, y'all know on the way out, I would have grabbed my laptop. I told Newt that, and he was like, "You don't know." I would have grabbed my laptop. But you all know how much this platform means to me. You all know that, I've through the years from the iPhone to all this and things, have tried to raise our, brand and look more professional and stuff. All of that would have been gone. Stuff from my grandmother. Cast iron pans that are older than me and my mother put together. I think so. Hold on. Well, maybe not. Older than my mother, put it that way. So that and it knew what he said about the trauma, gave me more appreciation. Because I sat back and said, if I didn't talk to the lawyer, if and I'm just gonna say it, if James did what James wanted to do and be vindictive, and it wouldn't now let me be clear. I had a right, all type of legal rights. We'll close out with this and get ready to listen to the song. The Bible says that all things are lawful, but not expedient. And so, as much as we talk about giving grace, and Clementina Sherry said this to me last week. She said, James, we got to stop saying that. And I get it. We're extending grace to someone, but it's God's grace. And it is God's grace that allowed me not to be a ninja. Because if y'all, evolution means that we've had to evolve from something. My mother knows, a few people here know that I have the propensity to go to zero, from 0 to 60. Used to. Well, no. Oh, I still have it. It's just settled. It's just I'm working on it. Somebody told me with this P3 thing that old Jimmy was coming out. I thank God um for his blessings and for the fact that like it in retrospect, it didn't have to happen this way. I could have been on here giving y'all an update. I'm here. Woo, thank you, God. This is what some of the old folks called a quickening. I could have been, hey, y'all, I'm in here today. Hey, y'all, we're live from such and such today. Couch surfing. So I'm going to go ahead and play the song. And it's not like I got a video, so I thought, playing the song ain't going to hide the fact that my eyes are getting wet. Not just in this instance, but for over, what am I, 54? Even before 54. My mother was in a fight. And Ma, am I right? Did you get kicked in your stomach when you was pregnant with me? All right, we can take this to church real quick. We're not going to do that. God is good. And Dina knows. Dina and Miss Teresa, they chilled out. But I know that these two were snooping for what you need. You need anything? We'll talk about that later. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the song. Yeah. So I was going to say God has been giving me grace for 54 years, but my mother got jumped when she was pregnant with me. I remember seeing one time my mother in a fight in front of Girls High, which is now the Dearborn, too, as a little kid. So God's been looking out for me for over 54 years. So, and I'm in my I'll be 55 this year. And if you know me, I love biblical numerology, and I promise after this we'll go 2, 5, 10. 5 twice, 55. 2 is a number of agreement. Also, when there's a repeat of things, it's God getting your attention. When he said Samuel, Samuel, he said David, David. God's like, hey, yo. 2, the number of agreement. 5 is the number of grace. I have the agreement of grace pronounced twice in 5. If you add 5, it comes up to 10. 10 is the number of reset. My cousin sent me a text the other day prophesying about what this year was going to be for me. I've been claiming that this year is going to be the year that our impact increases like never before. Let's just go ahead. Excuse me. That's right, Dr. Reverend. 10 is the number of reset. Y'all better come on in here with this biblical numerology. So, let's go ahead and play God Don't Play. Now, this is not me singing. This is Java controlled, prompted lyrics, messing around in AI yesterday for a little while. Right? Here we go, everybody. Yeah. God don't play about me, yeah, he don't play, yeah. Better ask somebody, better ask somebody, better ask somebody, better ask somebody, better ask somebody. He don't play, yeah, he don't play. God don't play about me, yeah, he don't play, yeah. The blessings every step I take, he don't play, he don't play. Better ask somebody.
better ask somebody. Better ask somebody. He don't play. Yeah, he don't play. God don't play about me. Whoa. God don't play about me. Better ask somebody. He don't play about me. He loves me when I'm low, no. Protects me when I don't know. Looks out wherever I go. Yeah. He don't play. He don't play, no. God don't play about me. Don't play about me. Loves me, blesses me, yeah, he stay around. God don't play about me. Don't play about me. Loves me, blesses me, yeah, he stay around. God don't play about me. Don't play about me. Loves me, blesses me, yeah, he stay around. God don't play about me. Don't play about me. Protects me, blesses me. He don't play. Don't play. He don't play. Don't. He don't play, no. Better ask somebody. Better ask somebody. He loves me out loud now. Covers me in every crowd now. Grace and mercy wrap me now. He don't play. He don't play. No. He loves me. He blesses me. He protects me. He looks out for me. He loves me. He blesses me. He protects me. Better ask somebody.
That's it, everybody. That is God Don't Play About Me. We're in the background trying to figure out how you drop it, put it on Apple Music and all that other stuff. Y'all know your boy's a recording artist. Like, I toured and traveled with Hear the Praise, and yeah. We're going to get ready to wrap up this morning. It is 11:03. If you're just joining, you are listening to God Don't Play About Me, written and composed by New AI. Yours truly, Java Creates. I think that's the name of my account. But the message is there. I want to encourage you all today. Keep in mind, God don't play. We're going to close out with this and go after. And we'll be back tomorrow morning. We have the opportunity to spotlight a great brother from the community for Black History Month by the name of John Barrows. He is the new executive director at the Thomas M. Menino Convention and Exhibition Center, downtown Boston. I'm going to talk with John a little bit about his journey and also how John will operate in equity at the convention center that has the ability to give a lot of contracts to small-owned businesses like Privé Parking. Java with Jimmy, with that wonderful podcast space they have there, that I met with them a few years ago, gave them a little bit of ideas, and they never followed up. I wasn't giving them everything. Anyway, so John will be with us tomorrow at 10 a.m. and on Wednesday at 11 a.m. The mayor had to move her time back to 11 a.m. because when I got a text the other day, I was like, listen, let me tell y'all something. Y'all are calling me to tell me that the mayor's, but no, they just needed to move her time back, which they, that's the mayor. That's totally understandable. And then on Thursday, we will not be here at 10 a.m. We will be live for GBH, Amplifies James Jimmy Hills, host of Java with Jimmy, at the Copley Library News Cafe on Thursday at 12:30 p.m. I'm excited to talk about what's next for Boston with Curtis Rollins and Nia Grace. Roxbury residents, Curtis has played a lot and knows some of the historical context of P3, but they also are going to have some very interesting perspectives about where we've been, where we are, and where we're going as far as Black Boston. And on Friday, staying sort of in that same vein, we're going to speak to Armani White, who's one of the co-founders and directors of Reclaim Roxbury, and that is going to be at 10 a.m. on Friday. We got 2 Fridays in a row. We are not going back to Monday through Friday. Not unless, you know, a big contract says that they want me on 5 days a week. But all right, we're going to close out. I'm not going to play the whole thing again, but we're going to close out with this. Oh, real juice. Thank you. I this thing I had to. It took a few iterations to get it where I wanted it. So we'll close out with this, you all. Penny, it's good to see you, sister.
Don't play about me, yeah. He don't play. Yeah. Blesses every step I take. He don't play. He don't play. Better ask somebody. Better ask somebody. Better ask somebody. Better ask somebody. He don't play. He don't play. Yeah. He don't play. God don't play about me. Whoa. God don't play about me. Better ask somebody. He don't play about me. He loves me when I'm low, no. Protects me when I don't know. Looks out wherever I go. Yeah. He don't play. He don't play, no. God don't play about me. Don't play about me. Loves me, blesses me, yeah, he stay around. God don't play about me. Don't play about. Loves me, blesses me, yeah, he stay around. God don't play about me. Don't play about. Loves me, blesses me, yeah, he stay around. God don't play about me. Don't play about. Protects me, blesses me. He don't play. He don't play. He don't play. He don't play. No. He don't play. He don't play. He don't play. No. Love plays. Stress protected. Never left alone. He don't play. He don't play. He don't play. Better ask somebody.
Better ask somebody.
Better ask somebody.
Better ask somebody.
Better ask somebody. He loves me out loud now. Covers me in every crowd now. Grace and mercy wrap me now. He don't play. He don't play. No, no. He loves me. He blesses me. He protects me. He looks out for me. He loves me. He blesses me. He protects me. Better ask somebody. Body, 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 body. He don't play, he don't. Body, 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 he don't play, he don't. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Oh, no, we're not going to do it. Hold on. Where's the thing? Crap. Oh, all right, that's it, everyone. We will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. with the good John Barrows, who is the interim executive director at the Thomas M. Menino Convention and Exhibition Center tomorrow at 10 a.m. Remember, God don't play about you.